is I know how the story is going to begin, I know how it's going to end, and I know all the middle pieces. That's how I do an outline to a book. I still have to take the story in the direction to where the ending of the entire series is supposed to go, where all the sum ups and any small threads that have moved through the stories that aren't closed yet all have to close up in the end. I do a lot of outlining of the next book as I'm already writing. At the time that I was writing them down, they were probably really good decisions, but now I need to remember why. How much I truly love my writers group, but I truly love my writers group. So I'm actually rushing to get my USB drive in because I now have 28 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock. We're doing what's called sprints. So I kind of talked to you guys about those when I was doing the editing process, the re-edits on my third book. This is book 5 that I'm actually just starting to write. So I am pulling out my second brain, my notes, and I'm getting ready to start book 5. So I already have some of the outlining done on this, and the beginning, I think I actually outlined the whole thing, you guys. So basically what I do, and I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible because time's ticking down and we're doing sprints. And what we do when we're doing, like, when I'm doing editing sprints, that's more of like counting how many pages I get edited in a certain amount of time. Usually it's a half an hour to 45 minutes that we sprint. But when you're actually writing, it's how many words you can get in an allotted amount of time. So that's what I'm doing right now, is trying to get all my notes together, my character cards, the little things that I've written so far, and just making sure that I have my outline completely done. So I always write on paper to start, and that's what this is. I keep notes as I go. And so basically when I do my outline, I'll put together, and I don't really want to show this because I don't want to show you what's going on in book 5, but I'll write like book 5 at the top, and then I'll write each bullet point of what's going to happen in the story. I've already got my characters designed. I already have the little quirks about them written, and as I go through and I'm writing the book and they come more to life, I'll add to their character cards. But once I've done that, I kind of call this my stick figure outline. So, and I'll number each of these. So there are, let's see, on this one I have 21 points, like bullet points of things that I want to happen. So like, let me see if I can give you an idea without telling you the entire story. The main male character in this book is going to meet a previous character that we've met before. So that's basically the first part of my outline, is this character is going to end up in the same place as this character. Not with this character, but in the same place as this character. And so that's my first bullet point. And so what I do with each of those, and then each one will have something go as I'm something on there as I'm building the story, I should say. 25 minutes and counting. Anyway, so each one of these bullet points will have something on it, and then what I'll do is I'll take that bullet point and I'll basically write it as the title of a chapter. Even though in my books my chapters are titled chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, I actually, in my rough draft outline, title those chapters so-and-so has so-and-so, and that's all I'm going to tell you because I don't want to give it away in the book as to what's happening if you've already read them. But so-and-so has so-and-so is basically how I titled this. And then I explain what happens in that to myself. And I do a little bit more detailed of an outline, and I go through each of those bullet points and I do that, and that's how I build the outline to my story. So basically I look at it as if an artist were putting a sketch together. Maybe they'd start with a stick figure or that pencil sketch outline, and then they go in and they add more detail, and then finally with the editing process you're adding all the colors or the shading and all that stuff. So that's really how my writing process works for the first part of it. But I have 24 minutes on the clock, so I am going to get in here and get these done. And I think I said I had 21 bullet points basically. So when I first started, I believe I'm going to have 21 chapters. It may end up being more, it may end up being less in the editing process, depending on what happens and how the edits go. Sometimes I'll say, you know what, this would all just be better combined into one. So yes, I did put an ending on here, and that's another key, is I know how the story is going to begin, I know how it's gonna end, and I know all the middle pieces when I start. It's just a matter of building that bigger picture, building that world, bringing it in. So that's how I do an outline to a book, in case you've ever been curious or you're wanting to know kind of how to do that. And you can always ask me in the comments below if you have any questions about writing or the outlining process or anything like that. I'm always happy to share those with you guys. And if I can't answer it in a quick comment, I'll go in and let you know that I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on that, because I will do specialized videos if you guys ask for them. For the most part, you know, this is our daily vlogging journey, but I will always do a specialized video. If there's something you guys want to know or a comment that you have that I don't think I can answer quickly for you, I would be more than happy to do that. So let me know if you ever have any questions about the writing process. I will put together just a separate video for that and put that out, as well as our daily vlog. Or sometimes there's just days that we're not doing much, and I might opt to do that instead of a vlog. So anyway, I'm gonna get to this. I have 22 minutes and counting, and I need to get my brain motivated. So I'm gonna get to it. I'll let you know how I did at the end of these 22 minutes. Oh, what I came across as I was getting ready to start writing my rough draft is I have fully outlined this particular book, but a lot of the things that I outlined and I wrote down and the things that I want to have happen were based on the last things that happened in book 4. Everything in here is moving towards an ending of this series, which is not happening yet. It won't be for a few books yet. In the meantime, though, I still have to take the story in the direction to where the ending of the entire series is supposed to go, where all the sum-ups and any small threads that have moved through the stories that aren't closed yet all have to close up in the end and make sense. Or like little hints that I've dropped throughout the books of things that are happening, foreshadowing that's going on. All of that has to close up in the end and make sense. So one of the things that I found when I was reading through here, and this happens sometimes, is I need to reread the last book that I wrote. So most likely I will get no words in tonight. It'll all be a matter of doing a reread through, and it won't be an in-depth reread. It'll really be a skim through for me to get the gist of where I was taking the storyline. Because when I write these books, of course I remember what the stories are about, but there are little things that I drop throughout the stories that then go into the next outline, because I do a lot of outlining of the next book as I'm already writing. As I'm putting things down, I'll use post-it notes like this, and I'll put little notes on it, and then when I go to do my next outline, I'll take those post-it notes and I'll add those things in if they still apply and they make sense. So that's where I'm at right now in the writing process, is I cannot get the words down until I've gone through and done the reread, and then I reread my outline to see why I was taking it in that direction. Because as I was starting to read the outline, I found myself a bit confused as to why I made certain decisions. And I know at the time that I was writing them down, they were probably really good decisions, but now I need to remember why I made those decisions. So what I'm gonna do during my sprints tonight is fire up the computer and see how many pages I can get read in my reread.